Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. This episode's kind of weird. It feels a bit quiet in here. It's because I've had two guests back to back, so going back to the scheduled programming, it's kind of odd. This episode's going to be about selection. That's a play on words. The actual topic is choices, but I'm going to use the term selection more just so that it sounds different. A lot of people talk about the same things and everyone has their own experience to bring that out. So I think I'm going to try to use different words just so that it kind of sticks compared to other people's stuff. I know I do like motivational speakers, but I don't at the same time because everything sounds the same. And sometimes it's just easier that way where when you hear something familiar or if you're like following a recipe, there's a reason why it sounds that way. At the same time, I feel it's not as impactful, at least for me. I like to kind of switch a tune every once in a while. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I still be using the word choices a lot, but the title itself is going to be selection so that it kind of changes your mindset. Hopefully that doesn't really count as clickbait. The internet's going to be the judge. The internet's the judge of everything nowadays anyways. So I'm going to do a throwback for most of you if you went to regular school. I think this even happens in private school where every once in a while there'd be a game and the teacher would choose two people to be team captains, right? Those team captains get to choose who they want first, last, etc., etc. And there's that feeling of joy, pristine, just overall goodness, I guess, when you're chosen first, right? It's something that's so validating because, just for example, let's say that you're together for like a sports team, right? And someone chooses you. Everyone assumes that you're one of the best, right? So if you're first choice, it's just backing up not only your ego, but if you put in the work into that sport or whatever, you just feel amazing and your choices on going hard on that is reflective by you being chosen first, right? Whether it's something small like that or, the NBA draft or NHL draft or NFL draft. If you watch sports, I don't really watch sports, but I know certain things like that are a big deal, and it is a big deal because to be someone's first choice is something that's amazing. We all have options in our life, right? To tie in the first choice thing is sometimes what we choose to do first isn't necessarily the best thing to choose, right? I was supposed to do this maybe 2 hours ago. I did an episode earlier, but I just spent 15 minutes and it didn't sound good to me, so I scrapped it. I might use it as a blooper eventually, who knows, but because I didn't do it earlier, maybe my train of thought was kind of affected, so that's why I don't think it sounded as good, or just maybe I wasn't feeling it as much at that time, right? I took a breather and started over again, and now we're here, right? But obviously that choice to not do it earlier affected how I felt about what I brought out. Selecting the time to do this, I still need to keep experimenting. I know certain times of the day I have more energy, certain days of the week I have more energy, and on those energetic days I want to capitalize on making podcast episodes. I don't know if I let you guys know, but I think episodes 15 through 19 were all shot on the same day because I just felt really good. I felt like talking about a lot of things. I spent maybe 20 minutes going over some notes and brainstorming a little bit of how I wanted to talk about everything. I did the first episode and then I took a 5-minute break. I did the second episode. I took a 10-minute break and then I just pumped out 2 more episodes. And then I didn't have to do a podcast episode for a month, right? all with having that effort for the one day, right? So those are all choices that you make in your life, right? And back to what I was saying, where I said that most of the time we don't do the first thing. The first thing that we do is not necessarily the best choice, because let's say you have a bunch of things to do on your day off, right? You're going to do the most enjoyable things, or you know what? Let me take a nap first, right? And as your days goes by, you're just like, damn, I could have did so much more things, but you know, the day is already over and it's back to work or back to whatever you do when you don't have days off. I don't know, everyone's different, right? But anyways, that's basically what happened to me. I had a plan to do all this stuff and I ended up doing the podcast last, but I think that just made the content a little bit more juicier. When it comes to selection and when it comes to choices, it's all about playing your cards right. You have to know the environment that you're dealing with. You have to kind of consider what are the best options and move from there. I think the older we get, hopefully for you guys, it gets better for making these decisions. I know for myself, when I put timelines on things, it pushes me to do things more. Or if I put a set limit in my brain, I feel like I have to do the thing. So for example, today I said I'm going to do the podcast early, right? And that didn't happen because I got distracted, procrastination, etc., etc. But then in my head, I said that, you know what, you're not going to bed until you do a podcast episode. And recently I've been saying I want to be more accountable to myself, and I want to be a person where if I say I'm going to do something, if I'm saying I'm going to do something, it's definitely going to happen no matter what. So having that frame of myself in my head after saying that statement has pushed me to do the podcast, right? I have to do it. I said I was going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to sleep on it. Pun intended. Right? So playing your cards right in this sense is knowing yourself and learning from your past mistakes. That's what happens when you put yourself out there, when you put yourself in situations, you can navigate your life a lot better. I have a quote from my English teacher from grade 6. I don't know if it's her original quote or if it's a quote that she got from a book. She was a big leader in reading for me and my whole class at that time. She had a very big influence on getting our vocabulary up, reading a lot more, and just exploring books and stating our opinions. I think that was a big player in my life when it came to being open-minded and challenging someone. It's a thing that is uncomfortable in this day and age as well, right? We're in the internet era and we have a lot of social bubbles where people say the same thing. People use the term echo chamber, but like I just wanted to use another term. It's something that I do. But yeah, where you'll hear the same narrative over and over again, especially with certain things that are going on in the world. I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe I'll post about it. But if you know what I'm talking about, I think you could catch the hint. But someone will say one thing and everyone who agrees with it will jump on it, and everyone who disagrees with it will jump on another thing, or they will only look for what people agree with on their side, right? It's become kind of strange, and it's funny that certain things from the past has kind of helped me navigate through this and kind of be prepared for it. I'm a person where I can have a stance on something and I don't really care if people agree with it or not. It's what I think, it's what I feel, or it might even be just a personal choice of mine. And if you like it, you like it, right? There's not much you could really do, and you can't really force these things on people. Again, it's playing your cards right. It's the choice to speak about it or not speak about it, or who to talk to about certain things, right? Especially with a lot of people getting canceled or getting kicked out of certain things for having a certain view, which one day will be acceptable, the other day it won't be acceptable. We don't know how things are. So especially on a place like the internet where everything is forever, you know, someone might clip what you said, someone might record it, someone might archive it, you could post something and delete it maybe like 5 seconds later, and someone's going to see it, someone's going to screen cap it, right? So we have to be very selective with our words and how to express our words, and making sure if we do say something, it's so blatant, it's so clear, it's so simple that no one could kind of twist what you wanted to say. Yeah, every choice has a consequence. Reflection is a big key factor to a lot of things. No one's perfect in this life, and the choices that we make are a reflection of what we know at the time. At times, it's hard to deal with past choices, but we need to do what we can to progress and better ourselves so that our choices in the future could be better choices, not only for us, but for those who are around us. And that's something that happens when you build a habit, right? There's a thing that I'm trying out. I'm calling it Simple September. I'll talk about it in the next podcast episode. So next podcast episode is Simple September. Get ready, it's out September 1st of all days anyways, right? So hopefully you guys are into that. I'll talk about it a little bit more next week, right? So you guys can hear about that. But habit building is something you kind of develop from choices that you've made in the past and what works, right? That's basically what a habit is something that you do, you enjoy, and you consistently do for whatever reason. I remember there was a time where I did like a do your bed challenge. I don't always make my bed, but everyone is a little bit different. I know some people who cannot leave their house without their bed done. But something that I do is if I'm going out for the night, like if I'm going to go for a party, I'm going to make my bed. If I'm going on vacation, I'm going to make sure my room is clean. So when I do come back, my room is clean, right? I'm coming back to peace, I guess, even though, you go on vacation for peace or adventure. Yeah, selection's very important in life. Choices are important in life. Go out there, make more choices, make more decisions, and based off that, build a template for your life so that the choices that you make now will be overall better for everyone you encounter as well. I know I said that like a minute ago, but sometimes you have to repeat yourself so that the message kind of sticks. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys did like this episode. Please try to comment. I know a lot of people like the first guest episode, second guest episode, so I will try to get another guest soon. I was supposed to have a guest on recently, but I was sick, so I wasn't trying to get the other person sick as well, so that was delayed. This episode actually was supposed to be my third guest episode, but we'll see what happens. We'll see if we can get some more guests as well. Just to wrap things up, go out there and make better choices. Take care.